Hello, welcome to my ghost walkthrough of Godbreaker. Starting this wonderful campaign today, I'm gonna play the first mission, which is really more of a prologue. It's very small, but nevertheless important for setting up the story and introducing the new player character, Connell. So let's begin, and let's watch the briefing.
As a thief with a reputation for success, it's easy to bite off more than I can chew. Over the years, I've received more job offers than I could possibly complete. And as age has become less shy in its steady creep, I've had to decline more and more of them. I've come to understand that my energy is a fleeting investment, and I shouldn't take every job that comes my way. Unfortunately, this didn't deter me from my latest blunder. I'd been hired to steal a jeweled scepter from one of the city's newer nobles, Noel Dennison. Normally, I wouldn't take a job without familiarizing myself with the victim, but I was beginning to feel my age, and it reminded me of the old jobs from my younger days. And here, I thought, tired old cynics never got nostalgic. I was able to get in, grab my prize, and leave without much difficulty. But it took a little while to learn about Dennison from his journal, snatches of conversation I had caught from the household staff. To put it mildly, guy's got issues. Growing up in the noble's court of Blackbrook would take its toll on anybody. But now I've learned that the Dennison family is renowned, even there, for their pride and vicious temper. Apparently, Dennison had once caught a household servant stealing the family silverware back in Blackbrook. After days of torture, the servant finally died. Dennison complained that the screams were not loud enough and had his torturer flogged. To make matters worse, he's already cranky about being pressured by his father to move here to gain influence in the city. Being robbed makes him look weak to the other nobles. I guess I kicked the hornet's nest, as I found my fence dead in his shop tonight. My name must have crossed the poor bastard's lips, because I've suddenly found myself entertaining. I managed to slip out before things got messy. I couldn't get to my stash. These guys look experienced, so it's only a matter of time before they find it. Most of my things can be replaced, but I've amassed a rather large collection of potentially lucrative maps I'd rather not lose. I've got to get in, get my stuff, and hightail it to another hideout to catch my breath. Things are heating up around here, so I'd better duck out of town for a while.
Alright. I love Connell. I know some people don't, and I think a lot of that comes down to his voice being so out of the ordinary, but I get a kick out of it, and I think he's a really fun character. So, slipping away. You've invested way too much time and study to let these maps fall into enemy hands. Find a way into your home, and get to your stash before they do. Outside the city, you never know when your next meal will be. You'd better take some food for the road. Optional, cash for some extra equipment couldn't hurt. Grab at least 1500. You're planning to come back here at some point, and a trail of bodies before an extended absence might raise an eyebrow or two. No kills tonight. Maybe it'd be best to duck out of town until things cool off. Get to the Lion's Gate when you're ready to leave. So it's interesting here that our loot goal is optional, but our food goal isn't. And if you think about it, this is the same kind of objective, just presented in a different way. And an expert, we have to grab 10 food items out of 11 total. which on paper sounds like a really bad idea. But I never heard anyone having trouble fulfilling this goal, so I guess it's not too bad. Let's begin by making a real save. And let's take a look at the map. So like I said, this is a pretty small mission. We have the building with our apartment in the middle, and a bunch of buildings around it, most of which are enterable. But the map really isn't necessary for navigation. It is, however, helpful for something else, which will come up in a few minutes. And also, our escape point is marked here. The Lion Gate is where we're gonna end the mission. Let's grab our first piece of loot. Crystal chunk worth 25. And we're gonna have to wait here for a bit.
How's it going? What's up? Thought I saw something.
This guy
No will.
has a purse.
Nothing.
So does the archer over there. And in the stall here is a carrot. Here we go, total 225. Now, these guys. These are Lord Frederick's guards, and for now, they are neutral to us. That can change, however. The City Watch and the guys who are currently ransacking our apartment are not neutral to each other. And you don't normally have to worry about this if you're ghosting, but if you raise a ruckus and cause some of them to search the area, there is a good chance the City Watch and those thugs will spot each other and get into a fight, at which point these guys will also join the action and become hostile to you as well. So that's something to keep in mind. In here are 2 loaves of bread. A little bit tricky since all other food items are found on their own, and I guess it's possible that you may get a loaf and assume there is nothing else. And this is the window to our apartment, but before we head in there, let's access the apartment underneath ours. Here we have a cucumber, we have 2 pieces of loot, total 390, and a letter from Davidoff. Anton, of the southern precursors we know precious little. During decades of dreaming and research, it was only natural that I would be inadvertently passed an ancient artifact here, or a piece of writing there, which found up to be not of Dreamian origin, but of these distant cousins. They are not entirely unrelated, but their civilizations must have diverged ages before. A close relative, in truth, would probably be the Hand Brotherhood, although I must admit this is mere guesswork based on their affinity for the elements and their lack of worship in tentacle deities. In addition, it is said that the founder of the Hand Order came from the south. The locations of their ruins vary, but probably the most famous and well-traveled would have to be the Nilbog site, which lies far to the south of the city, fairly close to the hamlet between Sirik and the mountains. Due to the frequent pilgrimages by the Hammerites to visit their saintly Iron Giant, we have many accounts of journeys through the Southlands to Eldin's tomb to find queer and crumbling underground temples along the way. Take heed if you travel that way. The whole area sank into a nasty swamp years ago, and Nilbog is abandoned. There is no telling what fell these ridden beasts prowl there now. As I've said, the southern precursors are not my specialty. The best source is probably Ibn al-Hasar of Sirik. The Syrian library is where you're most likely to find him. If you do travel that way, give him my regards. His insightful translations of southern Dreamian reliefs have been of immense help to my field. Best of luck to you, Davidoff. And over here is another openable window that's right across from Lord Frederick's estate. In here, we have a guard with a lantern who has a randomized patrol, and how much time we spend in our apartment is entirely up to him. Connell, word in the street is that Denison's pretty pissed. Gave old Redison the red smile. Keep your head down. A trip out of town might be in order until things cool off. Fan. Rest in peace, Redison.
Something move there?
This guy has a papyrus on him. Bim. I've approved up to 3 enforcers for assistance, so don't feel like you need to be a hero. Avoid a scuffle with the watch if you can, but if you have to kill a few, don't worry. Our client has arranged near innocence with the district sergeant. Be careful with this one, he's known to be rather resourceful. After the target is eliminated, there are 4 pickups in that area. I know you don't normally do this, but consider it a favor for approving all the help. Your map has been updated. So now the 4 pickups they mentioned are marked here, and that's the real purpose of the map in this mission. And we're of course gonna find all of their dead drops. There is also a guy who comes into our apartment once in a while, that guy over there, and he has a purse, which I wanna take. There's also a fruit right here.
That was just nothing. Don't see anything now. Hey! What was that noise?
And the switch to access our hiding place is right here.
Apparently, I've overstayed my welcome. In my own place. Time to go.
And these are the maps, our main objective. Now, that switch was probably the most criticized aspect of this mission, because it's kinda hard to find, and it makes no sense because in world, Connell would know where it is. So there will be an update to this mission somewhere down the line, and some of the biggest flaws will be addressed. And there was talk about adding a new voice line for Connell to hint at that switch, but honestly just indicating where it is in the objective text would be enough and far easier. And in here are just some potions, we don't need those.
Did you hear that too? I think there's someone. Nothing to be seen now.
It's a little dicey to hide in these corners, but it should be fine.
Something move there? Gotta stop jumping at nothing. Huh?
Quiet. It was nothing, I guess.
Huh?
That was very dicey. I'm surprised he didn't catch me there. He needs to go into that room.
Is that you?
And that's the most difficult part of the mission done. Let's actually make a real save here. Now this window, I know, has caused quite a few players some trouble. The trick with it is that you can't actually fall down while standing here.
Has someone come?
Here we have a book, we need to talk about Cavill,
It was only
and there is a carrot. To get past the priest, we can wait for him right here.
Halt!
There we go.
Someone there?
In his room are 2 pieces of loot, total 640. And you wanna crouch before trying to get through this window. In the chimney, we have our first dead drop, this one right here. Now this jump might be the most difficult one in the mission. It's much easier if you strafe run. It's possible to do normally, but it's very inconsistent.
Did that shadow move?
Under the table here, I have a purse, total 780.
So wet. Well, everyone. Something moved there?
And while this guy is outside, we can grab a coin stack and a piece of cheese here. Now here, surprisingly, you can drop down to the wood beam without taking damage.
Seems clear enough now.
Kinda feels like you should, but I never once did. In a window, there's a gold candlestick and you can simply walk forward and mantle the other wood beams. But you can do that with this ledge right here. What you want to do instead is jump, something like this.
Someone behind me?
And this doorway we can't use, because there is a thug right here.
Too much coffees this morning.
But we can
twitchy
reach a
as
purse under the
Seems
stairs.
clear.
And in this yard, there is an artifact, total 1030. You can climb this pipe, which I think is the only climbable pipe in this entire campaign, so it's not very intuitive, and I don't recommend it anyway. It's hard to mantle the balcony from it.
Hey, what was that noise?
Instead, we'll just use this window.
Seems clear enough now.
And there is a guard who comes out to this balcony every once in a while, right on time. So obviously you don't want to be in the middle of your jump while he's coming out, because then you'll be caught with your pants down. In this room we have a coin stack and the only secret in the mission. Pile of coins back here, total 1180. And we're gonna have to wait for that guy to come back to the balcony. It's virtually impossible to pass him in this corridor.
I'm getting too jumpy.
He does stop over there, but it's hard to squeeze by him. In this room, I have a necklace and an apple. And you want to be careful with this window, because there can be an archer. There he is.
Well,
We are safe in this room, though. This guy doesn't come in here.
What's up?
That's the lion gate below. And let's wait for this archer to come here.
Meet up later. Drinking and taking a break.
So this guy has a purse, total 1480. That's the window I showed you earlier, leading to the apartment underneath ours. And in this corridor you can only hide between the windows. If you go all the way up to the arch, you're actually not safe there.
How's it going?
In this room is another coin stack and an apple. And here it's actually easier to jump over to that wood beam from all the way back here. And getting into this window can be tricky, but the best approach is the most direct one, just jump and mantle. In this room is a coin stack, total 1592, and a cucumber. So we met our loot goal and our food goal. There is only one piece of food left in the mission, like I said. My dear Jordan, I received word from the abbot that the blessed statue of Saint Ives will be on display at Saint Uriel's next month. The spring mud has dried, and the passes are open again. So many of the brothers have decided to make a pilgrimage to the city to pay proper obeisance. I've decided to join them, which means I'll be coming to see you soon. Don't worry if you haven't got room to put up a guest. We'll only need one bed. Your love, Romina. And getting out of here is even more difficult. There is no intuitive way to do it, but the most consistent way I've found is to just run towards that wood beam. With luck, you'll land on it without making enough noise to alert anyone. And from here, it should be easier. We can land on the gargoyle and then catch that sign. Down here is a purse, but it's not the dead drop marked here. That would actually be the spice bag. Very tricky hiding place.
What's up?
Brings the total to 1732.
Oh,
Over here
someone
is
there.
the third dead drop. This one. And the last one is right down here.
Not this time.
looking good tonight. Let's dance.
There's also a civilian nugget here. Total 1862. That's all the loot in the mission. And after this guy is done, you can grab his deer leg. That's the last piece of food in the mission. But let's actually leave it for him. He looks like he needs it more than we do. And there we go. Mission complete in 16 minutes, 21 seconds. Found all the loot, 1862, picked all 5 pockets, and found the only secret. The next mission is much bigger and a lot more complicated. So let's make a save right here, and I'll see you guys for mission 2, Impious Pilgrimage. For now, take care.